When Chubby Buckle went to enter this era of sound, as they say, and didn't quite make it, what people don't realize is although he left the film industry and went on to pursue other things and travel the world and live a full life with what he had, that's what established the post-production and sound recording After Effects. Everyone always says, fix it in post, fix it in post. Where do they think that came from?
For the next 6 years, Briscoe directed 11 films in Hollywood, but he became disillusioned with his career.
He liked to work very fast, and so he was always pushing people to move, and it just, people resented him for that, because he didn't give him time, the people, the crew to set up and properly or to do things the right way. He just wanted to get it over and done with as quick as possible. But the end result was, though, that his style somehow worked.
He continued to make films as a director. That's why it's so sad to have heard about and to have read about his demise.
That prompted everyone, after him leaving, there was a huge hole in the film industry, and everyone scrambled, and I know through my research that numerous people and technicians attempted to contact Chubby Buckle to no avail. So it really prompted a whole new era in filmmaking.
One day, during the Great Depression, he went through the process of liquidating his assets. He didn't get nearly the value he had paid for his personal items, but he ended up with a few $1 million when it was done. He took his cash with him onto his last personal possession, his sailing boat, Little Annie, and sailed away from Long Beach Harbor towards South America.
From Hollywood, California, it's the Entertainment Report. Flash! It's been 3 weeks now into what's shaping up as 1936's biggest mystery. Chubby Buckle, the silent comic legend, has been missing since he took his small boat, the Little Annie, out of Los Angeles Harbor in May. After liquidating all of his assets, Chubby took to the sea in what was to be a year-long trip. But his little ship went missing 1 week into the voyage. He is presumed lost at sea. But many of his fans are hoping he turns up somewhere in Asia or South America. And this reporter hopes for one that he is not going to get trampled by a giant elephant. Come back soon, Chubby. For Hollywood, California, this is a Silver Screen News. I'm Walter Wood.
He was not seen again, lost with all the negatives of his films and seemingly without anyone to miss him. His name faded into obscurity. He would only turn up in New York City Harbor in May 1969 and die on June 2nd, 1969, at the age of 80. He had been missing for 33 years.
Okay, so what a lot of people don't know about him is in 1936 he got on his boat and he just sailed around the world. He just sold his house, packed up all his belongings, just basically went with a boatload of money, literally a boatload of money, and just sailed around the world. Nobody even heard from him, alright?
The studio execs, they all laughed at him, and they never knew what he knew, and that was how to get to the heart of the story. I think this drove him away. I think this is what drove him to sail around the world. I don't think it was a sense of adventure. I don't think that it was a goal that he had to get in a sailboat and just conquer sailing around the world. I think he wanted to escape.
He had this, like affair with one of the actresses for the film, and that just, went downhill, and it was a pretty bad, relationship for him. And pretty soon after that, nothing much was heard of him. So
I think that Chubby would be better off if he was in Europe than in Hollywood at that time, simply because he had that European touch.
Where did he go? What did he do? No clues remain, and no one is left alive from that time, so we can only speculate.
Well, they say he left a port near Long Beach and sailed south into South America. 30 figures later he appeared, I believe it was in the New York harbor, if I'm not mistaken.
Was he actually on a boat? That's the question. Was he actually on the boat?
It's hard to say. Some think he went around the world. Some say he went out all the way down to the bottom, down to Chile, down to the very bottom of South America, to Tierra del Fuego.
I think he just wanted time to himself. He just needed to get away, and like all of us, we need to find our own place and maybe find what brought us to where we want to be in the first place.
Then went up through eastern side of South America, and then ventured further east over to Africa.
I think when Chubby Buckle left to pursue his world travels, he just traveled to every exotic place that he always wanted to go to. And as I said before, Mabel's Monkey is my favorite. We did get a glimpse of traveling in that movie. I have contacted different cities along the way and have found out that he loved to fish, was always fishing, and ended up taking up high diving into the ocean. That was one of his favorite hobbies.
We heard people had said they'd spotted him in Kansas.
He did always have a very interesting fascination with Africa, as can be seen in his film Mabel's Mummy, where he talks about, the explorations there.
And I think he spent a lot of time in the water and would port into different cities, mostly in a lot of island areas in addition to urban areas, but really enjoyed those islands and the beach and getting to know the nature life at each place. And again, enjoying the high diving into the ocean.
And in the early vaudeville days, there was a very interesting fascination with Africa, being this very exotic land, very unknown. And so he did venture off into there. Some theorize that he lived amongst an African tribe for a while, just to try and, I would say in the mid-1900s or so, when civilizations were kind of, an awareness was being created where African civilizations were being more made aware to other people.
During World War II, from what I've gathered from my studies, is that Chubby Buckle was in Sweden.
I believe he did venture into Sweden and Finland. I guess he was very tired of living amongst the African tribes, things like that, so he went up north. I believe there was rumors that Genevieve was doing a show there, and so that's what prompted him to go up north into the Scandinavian area. Unfortunately, they never actually met. I think maybe either they missed each other or she was never there at all. That's left to speculation. So it's kind of one of those lost things. After they broke up, he was still kind of, traveling around the world in the event that their paths may have crossed at one point in time, but they never did.
There's a story that he actually made it to Europe and lived a long life somewhere in Switzerland, and not far away from the place where Charlie Chaplin spent his last years. Wouldn't that be great to have a film about Chubby Buckle and Charlie Chaplin getting together in their old age somewhere in Vevey, Switzerland, and exchanging thoughts and visions of images that they produced or didn't